Hey guys, Jason here. So I just bought a new plugin yesterday and it's Positive Grid's Bias Amp. Now some of you know by my recent videos that I've been using Positive Grid's Bias FX for a while. In fact, I recorded my second studio album with that plugin. I used that for the guitar tracks, and that's Heavy Metal Workout, which is my latest release, released in February this year, 2016. If you haven't checked that out, go to the description in the video and there's plenty of links in there so that you can purchase my album and stream it. So back to Bias Amp. Now the difference between the two, the Bias FX, they're a series of amps, but there's also effects plugins. So it's like having a rack mount of effects and stomp boxes and that sort of thing. And you've got some pretty good amps in there as well. Bias Amp allows for much deeper editing of the amps, and there's no effects. And I think you can actually capture the sound of a real amp. So I wanted to share a quick clip with you guys of Bias Amp. And again, I just purchased this plugin yesterday, and I messed around with the demo a little the prior day before I decided to purchase it. So check out this clip, and it'll give you a little taste of Bias Amp. Alright, so that wraps it up for a very quick snapshot of the Bias Amp. Now, I didn't use any post-processing on the tracks. I recorded 2 rhythm tracks, hard pan left and right, like I always do. I did use a tube screamer plugin in front of the amp just to tighten up the tone a bit. I didn't do any kind of deep editing. There's so much deep editing you can do with these amps, and I don't get too involved with that. I just like to dial in a tone I like real quickly and go with it. So the amp I'm using, I'm calling it Mesa Metal. It's actually their simulator of the Mesa Boogie triple rectifier. So really good tone, and I can tell you right off the bat, one of the differences between Bias Amp and Bias FX is the Bias Amp, and I believe it's because the pre and post amp and the EQs and all the stuff they have with it, it gives a little more punch to your tone. So almost like a real amp would. So that's the main difference I noticed between the two plugins right off the bat. I can't say the difference is substantial, but it was substantial enough for me to pick up Bias Amp after having purchased Bias FX several months ago. So anyway, there you have it. Stay tuned. I will be doing a video in the future on a side-by-side tone comparison between Bias FX and Bias Amp. So hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Keep it metal.